What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Slackers, bringing you guys our next matchup in the upgraded tournament. It's also Friday. Again, I don't have anything to do with it being Friday, but since it is Friday, new Raid Boss video later today. It was a pretty good one, actually. Really good one for a character that I had very minimal time to work on, but turned out very well. That's a little bit later today. But back to what's at hand here. So, new matchup, obviously, with new results. Anybody that's new, basically a bunch of characters are put into a tournament, and only characters that are assist trophies, spirits, me costumes, background characters, Pokeball, something like that could be upgraded into a playable character. That's why we call it the upgraded tournament. But then each day in the channel, I upload one of the matches from the tournament, except for Sundays, and then we vote between one of the two characters. Who would you rather see as a DLC character in Smash Bros? Keep in mind you can vote for both, but voting is a part of the rules, and there's a few more, but they're very simple to follow. All right, rule number one, you got to be open-minded for this tournament. You have to be open-minded to the fact, okay, it's not a fact, but you got to be open-minded to the possibility that there could be another upgraded character in the Fighter's Pass for Volume 2, all right? That's what you got to be open-minded to. So, next rule, you only get one vote per person. Keep that in mind and keep it fair, all right? How do you vote, though? Simple. Down in the comments, type the name of the character you are voting for, and then like I said earlier, if you want to vote for both, you absolutely can. Just say, I vote for both. That's how you would do that. Easy. Rest of the rules, double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose 2 times before being officially eliminated. Then, once we get to the results to determine the winner and loser of each individual match, if there happens to be a tie in the votes, we flip a coin on camera, fairest and best way to break a tie. And then each matchup voting-wise only lasts for just 1 week. That's it for the rules. Let's get to the rest of the video. All right, so let's quickly run over the results from last week, which was a loser bracket matchup, meaning somebody else is being eliminated today. So the matchup from last week was Akira, Officer Howard from Astral Chain, taking on Eevee from the Pokemon series. And this one was a fairly close matchup, fairly close. But the winner, there we go. The winner ended up being Akira Howard from Astral Chain. 30 votes for Akira, 23 for Eevee. There was quite a bit of people that said Eevee might be cute, or Eevee's nice, but no more Generation 1, or no more Pokemon, something like that. It was kind of, the feeling that I kind of seen in the comments was more like, hey, new franchise, cool, let's give that a try, instead of, character number 1207 from this franchise, right? So that's kind of what I was getting. But anyway, Eevee, unfortunately, has been eliminated. Although, Eevee would still make a fantastic character. Don't get that wrong. Don't get that twisted. But Akira Howard, congrats, moves to the next round of the loser bracket. But keep in mind, that's the loser bracket. One more loss for Akira, then they would be done. So let's move to today's matchup. Back in the winner's bracket. Good matchup today. Today we have the villainous Dr. Eggman, Robotnik, Eggman, whatever you want to call him. We have Dr. Eggman from the Sonic series taking on the Hunter from Monster Hunter. Let's jump into it, shall we? I think Eggman's up first, right? Yeah, cool. So, since Eggman's up first, we got to talk about, I want to talk about his spirit first and foremost. And I think it's, I'm not going to say this is some big theory I'm onto. No, it's not a theory. It's just, I find it interesting. Look at his spirit fight specifically. So he's a legend spirit. Actually, I have a, hold on, let me find that. Is the next one? No, hold on. It's here somewhere. Hello? Game? Hold on. Difficulties of technicalness. All right, there we go. I fixed it. All right, so this one specifically. Dr. Eggman, all right? Look at his spirit fight, right? Like I just said, he's a legend spirit. But look at who portrays him in the fight. Roy. More specifically, a Bowser Jr., a Koopaling. What's so specific about this? Bowser Jr. plays in the Koopa clown car, right? And now, why would that be interesting for Eggman? Eggman has a lot of inventions, a lot of flying, a lot of Eggmobiles, we'll call them, right? So maybe, and again, this is not no theory, this is just something I find interesting. Maybe when they were making this spirit fight, and they were thinking, Sakurai and his team, maybe they were thinking, all right, if Eggman were to be in, who could best represent him? Oh, Bowser Jr. because of the Koopa Clown Car. good fair comparisons to Eggmobile. It has a lot of different gadgets, a lot of different weird stuff that it can do. So the play style, maybe how they could envision it, the team working on Smash Bros, would be him moving around in an Eggmobile instead of just the boots on the ground sort of deal. So it could be fun. There's a lot you can do with an Eggmobile, right? So you got his Eggmobile. How many times have I said that? But you have that. So what can it do? It's got a drill on it, so that could end up being that could just be like a simple dash attack, right? I mean, Bowser Jr.'s got a drill on his, right? But his is like more of a down air. So instead of down air, this would just be a drill on the side of it, obviously. Little dash attack, simple. You got that. It's got a flamethrower. That could be a neutral special. What else? It's got a big old hammer, so that could be like a forward smash potentially. You could end up jumping out of the Eggmobile and kind of being like how Bowser Jr. does it and just kind of floats down. You got that. You could even make somewhere in his moveset, Eggman pull out some fake dummy rings. I guess not fake dummy, but dummy rings. Those are fake rings in Sonic. And they kind of explode if you run into them. So it could be like a projectile itself that kind of might stay on the battlefield for a little bit. So there's a lot of stuff within the Sonic universe that is not utilized with just the one Sonic character. And that's the other point we always make with Sonic, right? Out of all these third-party franchises, how does Sonic not have a second playable rep at this point? Nintendo and Sega, we know they're great friends. They work very well together. So it's a little head scratching. Maybe they weren't ever able to come to terms for a second playable character for Smash Bros. I mean, that could be it, honestly. Or maybe Nintendo just has no interest whatsoever to put in another Sonic character. I don't know, but it's a little weird, right? It's got to be a little weird. But Eggman potential obviously would be tremendous. Would be very awesome. But you know whose potential in the moveset would also be super easy, honestly? The Hunter from Monster Hunter. Now, I always made the comparisons, and I want to kind of correct what I said. So, the comparison for moveset wise, I always like the big three things that I would throw out there for moveset potential. The Hunter has a big sword. So, you got the sword, you have dual wielding daggers, you got an ice bow, just to name three things right there. And I kind of always envisioned somewhat, not identical, not 100% copy, but somewhat similar to how Byleth plays. Multiple weapons, and that's what I figured the Monster Hunter could end up doing. Just different weapons representing all the Monster Hunter games. And it just be like a really cool, fun callback, if you will, to like, all right, hey, that comes from this, and this is a really cool, whatever it might be. Like, that would be such a fun idea. Now, again, I'm not saying if the Hunter from Monster Hunter gets in, the only chance that they have for a moveset is, all right, they're going to play similarly to Byleth. No, you don't really need that. They could take the easy route. I hope they wouldn't, but the easy route would be the Hunter from Monster Hunter using the big old sword for maybe a majority of moves. I hope not, because, again, if you're going to have a sword in your moveset, please, at least I hope that there's a lot more to you than just the sword. So in this case, the Hunter has that down perfectly. And as you can see, the female version of the Monster Hunter that I'm referring to for the playable character, I always mention this as well, is the only actual fully fledged voice acting hunter in the Monster Hunter games. And that's because it comes from the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Ended up being a playable character. I believe is a DLC character, if I'm not mistaken, but is in the MVC game, so does have moveset potential already in a different fighting game. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I mentioned, what, 3 different weapons, and you could turn those weapons into slightly different, you could use them multiple times if you want to, somewhere in the moveset, but you come from a fighting game, or not, you don't come from the fighting game, but you're in another fighting game, so moveset potential is always up there. And Monster Hunter, here's another fact. Pretty big in Japan. Now, again, lately I've been kind of claiming, not really claiming, but it's kind of a fact. Smash Bros. Seems to be more of a Japan, I'm not saying based game, but like caters a lot to the Japanese audience. I mean, look in the country that they're making this, right? Making it over in Japan. There's a lot of characters that are very popular, very high demand that come from over there. That's not to say that America and Europe they don't get some say into it, right? I mean, we got Bayonetta that happened, but no, but I mean, like Monster Hunter is very popular in Japan, pretty popular in the United States. I actually don't know about Europe. I'd have to check, but I'd have to think they got somewhat of a presence in Europe, right? So the character, you got all the potential, right? And that first photo, right? The Mii costumes, the Rathalos armor. We still don't have that, do we? I don't. At least I don't think we do. Speaking of Rathalos, Rathalos was like revealed, like in one of the first actual reveal, not trailers, but whatever. It was revealed for Smash Ultimate, and it was like, whoa, this is like a boss thing, and everyone was thinking Monster Hunter would make sense, right? Well, we didn't get a playable character, but circle back to it a couple years later. We're in the DLC cycle. Got a franchise that's very popular, sells very well, been on multiple Nintendo systems. I mean, things line up and things are falling into place. I don't know if Nintendo wanted to call up Capcom and say, we want one of the hunters from Monster Hunter. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's that rumor of the, a Nintendo Direct or whatever coming up on Monday, the 20th, I believe, right? What's the date today? Yeah. Okay. Have I sent what to Nintendo? Is that about the Waluigi? I don't know. Whatever. But let's just go to the voting here. For me, between these two, like I said, both characters moveset potential A plus. Popularity, I'd have to say they're both pretty much A plus as well. But when it comes down to it, for me, my deciding factor in this vote, villain. That is the number one thing I want to see for some type of character in the Fighters Pass Volume 2. We didn't get it for Volume 1. How about just one? I don't need the last 5 to be villains, but how about just one villain? Eggman's getting my vote in this one. So yeah, let me know who you guys got down in the comments. Eggman, Monster Hunter, or both. They're all good options. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one. Sneak peek for tomorrow, because it's Saturday tomorrow. So everybody's favorite character. Back tomorrow. Gino from Super Mario RPG. Oh boy, Gino. I like the character. I actually like the character. I'm not a bandwagon, but whatever. We'll talk about Gino tomorrow. But his opponent from the Resident Evil series, Jill Valentine. That's the match for tomorrow. And then the results for tomorrow are going to be from Crystal, the assist trophy from Star Fox, taking on Gardevoir. We'll see how this one plays out. That's tomorrow. Today's wrapping up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.